Would you use ChatGPT to help you buy a house? Well, a guy in Florida did, and it's getting a lot of news. And I'm going to tell you, I love AI. I really do. ChatGPT is my bestie. And I love Gemini and I love Claude. And honestly, I think these are some of the best tools that have ever been invented. However, at least right now, as I'm sitting in March of 2026, I don't know that we're quite ready to be buying the house. Now let's forget. I think what he did was sell the house, but I think people are talking about buying and selling with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or I mean any of the AI tools. Again, great tools, amazing tools. It has been a game changer for me and my business. And again, I mean ChatGPT, I've named it. His name is Mav. I will just tell you, I love him. My husband says if I ever leave anyone, it's going to be for ChatGPT. But I would not let it do my taxes. I would let it tell me what it, and I would be careful to block out, information, valuable information. Obviously, we don't want that out there. But I mean, if I gave it the information, I would let it give me like an idea of what I might owe, or I would let it do math problems. I mean, my goodness, that is where it excels, right? You tell it to calculate things in a certain way, and it's going to come out with some great numbers for you. Anything subjective, though, could be a little iffy. And again, I say right now, maybe in 5 years from now, I'm making a different video because I'm out of a job. But right now, again, I wouldn't let it do my taxes. I wouldn't let it give me medical advice. I have run my labs through it and asked what it thinks is going to happen. And then, of course, I go to the doctor and ask the doctor about it. So a few of the things that, as a buyer, it's pretty obvious, right? So there's, the getting in the house, right? I mean, obviously that's going to be its own thing. Could you just put a code on the door? Well, yeah, but if you're the owner of that home, do you want to just put a code on the door? Do you not want to have a licensed real estate agent who actually has clients who they have vetted walking in the door before you hand out codes to a home? I mean, it's or even if you're home, there's danger to that, right? I mean, even me sitting at open houses, I'm to be perfectly frank, I'm not always comfortable. I do them, but I have to be honest, I'm not that comfortable. Um, and I even have like a video camera I set up and things like that. But anyway, uh, as far as going through the paperwork, it's it's phenomenal. Run it through, run it through. I've got this great buyer. We were just walking through her inspection. So she uploaded her inspection into ChatGPT and she came up with the things that she wanted to do. She came up with her, end result. She came up with a great idea as far as doing her inspection response, her request for repairs. It worked great. And of course, she gave it to me. I tweaked it so that it would be in better contract language. Use this for the contract language. Use this for the email where we're going to talk about what you want and why, right? So there's different things that it is definitely, you should be using it on a regular basis, in my opinion. But using it for that, it's not ready yet. And honestly, as far as using it to sell your home, now, okay, what are some of the reasons that people might use it? Because if you're a buyer, your agent, I mean, let's face it, the commission's the question, right? Obviously. I mean, that's, somebody's looking to save money because they don't want to pay a real estate agent. I get it. I know. I understand. What you're paying us to do is you're going to pay for what we know about the market and about the home sale process and how we can guide you through it, right? I mean, if you want to find a home, it's easy enough to get on realtor.com or Zillow or any other platform and pop in what you want and go find your home. There's not a lot of homes that are off market, quite frankly. I mean, this sort of off market idea, it's not a thing. It's not a thing the way people think it's a thing. Are there some out there? Yeah. Are you going to sift through 1,000 agents before you find one that actually might have an off-market property that works for you? It's ridiculous. It's actually the best way to buy and sell homes is to look at what's on the market, right? I mean, that honestly, that's just the best way to do it. especially to sell your home. So if you're trying to sell your home and you want to use Zillow and you just want to put it on Zillow, you know what? I know a lot of agents are like, I hate Zillow. I think Zillow is great. It's a great platform. They did a really good job creating something that maybe real estate agents should have come up with, but for whatever reason didn't. So yeah, kudos to Zillow. They did a fantastic job. They have a great platform. You can find, now again, they used to be pretty bad with statuses. They're better. They're way better at that now. But that's, you can find the house, but can you get in the door? Can you analyze the data? Because I'll tell you, I use ChatGPT to do help me with my market analysis and my seller updates that I do. But what I don't do is only use ChatGPT. So what I do is I run it as sort of like it's just an extra step for something that I'm already looking at, for something that I've already evaluated myself as a human who has walked through homes, who knows what buyers are looking for and what buyers aren't looking for. ChatGPT does not know, and I keep using ChatGPT. Again, it's my bestie. I'm not downing on ChatGPT. I actually love it. I actually ran it through thinking about this video. Like, I have a good idea for video. Help me out with this, right? I'm not reading a script, but it gave me some good ideas. So ChatGPT or any AI tool that you're going to run numbers through, it has not seen the inside of the properties. It can only see the photos that you upload to it. I mean, I'm sure there's more advanced AI out there, but it's probably not AI that the average buyer and seller is going to be using, right? There's some big platforms out there. They're using the AI. Even then, it's not nailing down what a human can look at and actually take that human touch and deduct. They really want this kind of kitchen. AI is not finding that kitchen for them, right? I mean, it's me knowing what you're telling me and then observing and then giving you my opinion. And even then, it might not be what's in your head. Maybe, you need to look at the pictures too. But the point is that when you are talking about what is likely going to be your biggest asset you're going to sell and or your biggest asset that you're going to buy, right? When again, I wouldn't even use it to do my taxes. I can't imagine going through the whole process, using it as an extra, yes, like I said, my client who ran the inspection through, great idea, came up with some ideas. We were going back and forth for negotiation. Really liked to do her own research, and she did a good job. And she used ChatGPT, and it was a great transaction. And all the stuff that she had come up with by using AI was great, valid things. And I just love that she was doing a lot of her own research too, because that's always, admirable, right? I like to really dig in on stuff that I'm trying to learn about. And even if somebody's helping me, my financial planner, who probably gets annoyed with me because of how many rabbit holes I go down with different things. But, quite frankly, I think it's a good idea to try to learn as much as you can about whatever you're doing right now and the process you're going through, and especially when, again, you are going to be looking at purchasing such a big asset. So, okay, so the end result is I would use it as a tool on the side. Again, right now, maybe in a few years, I mean, this stuff is growing at a very rapid pace. Fine. But here's the other thing too about AI. You don't know what you don't know, so you don't know to ask, right? So if AI spits something out and you had some knowledge about the subject listen, I know people buy and sell homes and they know a certain amount. Obviously, I'm not saying that they don't, but just dealing with contract forms and dealing with negotiation points and dealing with just reading the room, right? The tone that people get. We're still talking about humans that are going through the process. Sellers that are frustrated right now with the market. They don't think that they should maybe be giving up as much as they are for like a repair request or something I'm going through right now. Some sellers have sat on the market for quite some time. My buyers ask for something. They seem weirdly offended, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, that kind of stuff aside, reading the room, knowing how to then respond when you're getting that kind of pushback. Like those are the things that it really can't do for you. And until it can, and maybe someday it will, I think it's really best to stick with the humans. And I'm going to circle back to the commission part too, because I kind of got off on a tangent. But um, I feel like the commission is always, not always, but I think a lot of times when people are looking to save the commission, well, I'm not going to use an agent because I'm going to save the commission. Listen, understandable. And there's no law that says you have to use an agent. You can do it on your own, 100%. The issue is, though, that sometimes people think, well, because I'm the buyer, then I'm going to keep the 2 or the 3 or whatever percent was agreed to. And this, or would have likely been agreed to, right? And they've called a few agents, they found out, this one charges this one charges that. Okay, well, I want to save that amount, and so I'm going to just do it myself. The thing about the commission is it does not exist in a vacuum. The commission is just part of the whole offer, right? The buyer side and the listing side, right? It's factored in to the net that the seller is going to receive and the amount that the buyer is going to pay. It's not its own separate thing on the side that's like a piece of pie that you're like, well, if my agent doesn't get this piece of pie, then I get that piece of pie. It just doesn't work like that. It's not this like whole extra separate thing. It is included in everything else that you're asking for. If you're asking for money off the purchase price, if you're asking for other closing costs, if you're asking for furniture to stay, it's the offer as a whole that gets looked at. So it's not like you keep X or Y or Z, right? It's just the offer as a whole. So most of the time, and so far I have not had an issue since the rule change of August of 2024 and it's March of 2026. I have not had I cannot give you an example. I have not had an example of a transaction where I represented the buyer where the buyer had to pay me any commission. It was always negotiated as part of the offer as a whole. So the buyer may not have even known what to ask for, how much, how little, whatever. That amount of money isn't just going to stay in their pocket, right? So if that's not going to happen, why not just have somebody who's there to help you understand the paperwork, understand your options, understand when or when not to remove your contingencies? Because especially if there's an agent on the other side, that agent works for that seller and vice versa. And if you want your best interest with somebody who has done this for a while and knows how to help you, keep the agent in the deal and don't let ChatGPT be your agent. I guarantee you, you're going to regret it. And I'm sure the guy who did the news story is happy to tell his tale. I don't know if somebody were to come around and go, ooh, I don't know what his situation was. I don't know. I'm assuming there was probably portions of that deal that probably didn't go his way and he probably didn't even know it. So again, I guess you don't know what you don't know. So, whatever. What's that saying that, ignorance is bliss. So, again, not calling him ignorant, just saying that, if you don't know that you missed something, well, maybe who cares unless you find out later. So anyway, those are my thoughts on AI. I think it is a fantastic tool and I think you should absolutely use it. But I think you should go ahead and let your real estate professional, who we are here to support you. We are here to work and get you everything that you want, if at all possible. And I will tell you when I don't think you're going to get everything that you want. And I'll just be realistic. I don't think we're going to do this, but let's try. And I'm going to use all of my persuasive powers to get you what you want as a buyer and, of course, as a seller as well. That's actually why I don't ever, except for one time in my 27 years of doing real estate, have I what we call double ending, where I represent the buyer and the seller. I don't do that. And it's perfectly fine for people to do that. For me personally, my feeling is that I want to be arm in arm with my client. It's us, and I'm not against other people, but I'm here side by side with them to make sure that they are getting the best representation possible. That, we can have the completely open conversations that I could not have if I was representing the other side, right? So when you have that, when you have an agent that's doing that for you, it can be very valuable. Some might say invaluable. And I think it's going to be something that you won't regret if you have a good realtor. I do realize that there are realtors out there that would not fall into that category. I get it. Every industry has that. Every industry has that. So we always have to consider that. But in the meantime, I'm curious what your thoughts are. If you've made it this long in the video, by the way, if you have found any of this helpful, or if you've seen any of my other videos and haven't considered subscribing, I would love to get a subscribe. And even if not, a like, that'd be awesome. I really, really, really appreciate it. Um, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about AI helping you buy and sell homes, or maybe any other big life decisions like that. So leave me comments below. Let me know what you think. Love to keep that conversation going. I'm really curious what people out there are thinking about all this, because it's all happening very fast around us. I'm Lisa Angel. I'm with LPT Realty, and I'm here to help you live your best desert life.